Let's draw a train, got a favorite railroad, got a favorite locomotive, just let me know. Let's draw a train, get your pencils and pens. Let's draw a train, it's time to begin. One of the good things about F-unit cabs, and a lot of cabs, is that the lettering is a lot further back in the locomotive. And so this is a good way to practice the striping and basically the paint scheme, where the curves of the paint scheme and the stripes, and putting basically a lot of the color of the paint scheme. And you get actually a lot of practice where you don't actually have to practice writing the word Western Pacific. You get a lot of the feel for the paint scheme. And so what I would do is I would, for instance, if you have a Pocket Pal here, if you see the Western Pacific 913 paint scheme, basically, instead of doing the curve part first, what I would look for, like for instance, this is something that it's teaching you, is in the Western Pacific paint scheme, the curve you'll start to see, because always what I do is I lay out the stripes before I put the words in it. And because that's actually one of the guidelines to see where the words go. And so here, the stripe, basically the horizontal between the silver and the orange, starts right at the bottom of the door. And it goes right, almost right to the, where you line it up with this edge of the cab, the window of the engineer side here. And then the curve basically goes right to right here. And basically what I would do, if you have a circle template, like it turns out, you kind of sort of shop around in your template, like this circle doesn't quite feel big enough, so then this one actually does. And sometimes what you kind of have to do is you move it around. I have this bigger circle template, and you can keep going, but if you only have this one for starters, what you can also kind of do, it turns out this circle template's the exact one we want. But also another kind of trick you can do is, as you're doing the circle, you can kind of move it as you go a little bit, like that, and it actually sort of makes the circle a little bigger. Now, the basically where the orange meets the silver on the top is right under the window, a little bit less, a little bit below it, because that makes it so that you can see a little bit of the silver here, and it goes up like that. And since we left this little bit of space here, we can draw in a little bit of the grill. Now the grill, you just kind of put two horizontal lines. And then basically right here, you put, there's two black stripes on the nose. There's one there and one there. And then there's a little F, it's an orange. And then there's the 913. The 913, this is actually one of the parts, I call these kind of almost ghost letters at times, where you just kind of do your best to make 913. Like on a cab like this is almost one of the only ways that you can kind of see the 913. In the end, one of the ways that you kind of finalize that is when you take your ballpoint pen and make it into the white letters there, and is to kind of, you can a little bit crispen it up with this. And then here, the silver goes to, on the roof, goes to right about here. It's literally right at this. A lot of times they line up, and it lines up right with this. And then at this point, or even a little bit before, you kind of can look around for a few more details. Like there's actually a grab iron right there. Then there's obviously the horn, which I hadn't put on yet. So put this on this side, the horn goes backwards. So there's the horn. And then there's a grab iron here. And a grab iron here. And a grab iron here. Kind of pull away so you can see what I'm doing. And then here's a little access door. And then here's actually what they basically would call a kick plate or whatever, where there's this silver piece of metal on the door that kind of reinforces the door. So what it is when you're painting the orange there's a little piece of silver over it. And basically that's the lettering. And then right actually about here, if you kind of even want to, since we've kind of extended it this far, you can even, if you want, put the C from Western Pacific, if you actually want to kind of go to that challenge. That way you kind of get the feel for the engine going all the way back. That's kind of, see, because that's right about where Western Pacific. You can even do the I if you want. Kind of get the feel of the engine going back. Okay, and that's the lettering.